It's time to reveal to you guys what engine platform we're going with for the FD car this year. And before I can show it to you, it starts off at Tomei Powered here in Japan. We got something to pick up. We got a few parts, and then the most important part we're about to pick up.
He's got gloves on.
He's got gloves on. Dun dun dun. Ooh, there she is.
Okay.
Let's have a look at this real quick. She is fresh. I'm so excited about this. Oh yeah, she got shaved good. Fantastic. We'll talk a little bit about this, but that is the 2JZ head. Things are happening. Cool. Arigatou gozaimasu. All right, so we got the head. Now we just gotta get the rest of the engine. And it's not any of this stuff or any of that stuff. We got a 2-hour drive. You were thinking something else, I know you were.
I'm thinking about rotaries at the moment.
Before we jump on the road though, I just need to show you this because I'm sure a lot of you are asking right now, what is this mark on your forehead? And if you didn't see my Instagram story, do you notice the mark looks exactly the same as the handle of this valve stem seal puller? Well, the exhaust valve stems came out really, really easy, but the intake side were quite hard, and the first one I was pulling on, I was like, oh, that's really stiff, what's going on? And I went to look at what was happening while pulling, and bang, you can gather the rest from there. Anyways, gotta drive all the way to Fuji, Mount Fuji. We're going to the base of Mount Fuji. You already know what that means.
Bye.
Hey Daiki, where's your engine? Just so you guys know, we are all in the same boat right now, and neither of us are probably gonna have an engine until 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before we want our cars running. It's been a whole thing. Anyways, right now we don't have a lot of time to sit and film. Oh, great, I need gas too. But, that's gonna stay on the truck, and I'm not gonna talk about the Skyline at all. Things have happened, all right? Things have happened. As you guys saw in the last video, we opened up my engine to find that the bottom end was completely stopped. As impressive as that is, and I'm really grateful that that thing never died in the last 2 years of competing in FDJ2, we needed something bigger and better. Now going into this year in FDJ, I already knew that I had to get a better engine package, and nothing's better really than a 2J. And I know, RBs sound better, maybe a VR38 makes more sense, or maybe a Barra would be super cool. And as much as I would love to do that, first of all, I don't really have the budget for it to completely change everything in the engine bay. Let's keep the car with the same platform, but let's just go bigger capacity. In Japan, when it comes to ready available parts, lots of aftermarket support, and something that everyone knows, JZ is the answer, okay? No, Miata is not the answer here. JZ is the answer, as weird as that sounds. Anyways, like I said, in the last video, you saw what happened. YouTube had some weird issue, and no one yesterday, or the day before, got any notifications, even if they were subscribed, about the video going live. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. But we're nearly at our destination. I got about 30 minutes left. We'll pick things up when we get there.
ありがとう、本当にめっちゃ助けて。
これタミーベルトをついでにそう。
大丈夫です。ありがとうございます。
You guys know I had to do it with the K-Van. Shame the weather's very cloudy and you can't see Fuji too well, but still nonetheless, it's a beautiful view. We're back at the shop. I got a surprise to show you, Daiki. Boxes from HKS.
Wow.
HKS. Oh, this is a heavy boy. All right, so you guys can gather. The boxes say crankshaft. This box just says HKS. Oh. Can't forget this one. Important. let's go inside and talk about it where it's not freezing cold right now. I think it's like, look, I did the conversion for you guys. It's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is 4 degrees Celsius. First of all, let's start with the smallest package. HGS timing belt. I'm sure you guys can gather what's going on here, but hang on. Before we go into this, we need to probably get all the parts. 1 second. We're mixing some brands, guys. We're mixing some brands. This is pretty. All right, we're gonna talk about all this. So, as you guys know, we picked up the 2JZ head from Tomei this morning, which is on the little engine cart, right? They did a massive solid for us. Absolutely insane. We got that thing done in a day. Now, when it comes to the block, this bad boy, tomorrow morning, this is going to June, right? And then we're going to be getting the bores bored out to 87 millimeters. We're going to be getting everything line board and everything to accept the new crank, billet main caps, and brace. This thing is going to be a full proper built bottom end. Now, so parts are kind of scarce right now, and it's very, very hard to get a lot of this stuff that's just sitting on the shelf. Someone's talking about me behind my back. Oh, actually, it's just spring and hay fever's coming back. Anyways, so we went with kind of the best of everything we could get that was available for us. There's gonna be a little bit of a bitzer, as my old man would call the family dog, a little bit of everything. We've got ARP mains and head studs. The head studs are up there, I forgot to grab them. We've got a Tomei oil pan baffle. This was something that really baffled me, pun intended, because we were driving this car at Okayama and Sugo, which has some pretty insane elevation on the track, and it's known to blow engines. We never blew ours. Now, I did always put an extra liter in there just in case for that reason, but yeah, we got one of Tomei's 2JZ oil pan baffle kits. This will really, really help with sloshing issues and stuff, and should mean that I don't have to spend a ton of money on having to go to a dry sump setup. Although that would definitely be the better solution, but that's a lot of money. So, and this year, the whole reason why we're in J1 is we're trying to keep the budget down low. So, this is essentially, oh, we haven't even talked about my tire sponsor yet. That will be another video. Anyways, moving on. This is where my tire money for this year has gone into, I guess, my engine. So, I'm pretty excited, and we're gonna be having a second one on the side too. We're gonna 1.2 millimeter gasket, the thinnest head gasket I could get. We'll get into that in a little bit and explain why. We've got billet main cap kit from Duluck. Duluck Racing, they look after all the top teams in D1 GP. Ito-san, the owner of Duluck, amazing guy. His shop is literally 15 minutes from ours. So he looked after us, and we were able to get his billet main cap kit. And let me show this to you guys. It's absolutely beautiful. Ooh, billet main caps. So whenever you start making pretty much anywhere 800 horsepower and above on a JZ, you really need to get rid of the stock main caps. That's kind of standard on all engines that I've worked with. And it also comes with a beautiful billet brace that ties everything together. I'll just pull this out real quick so you guys get a good look at it. Look at that, it's even got Duluck machined on it. Super, super cool. Some old school stuff, man. Like, just this brand is just really, really cool. Anyways, there's a bit of history there. So it's cool. We're running the Duluck billet mains and brace kit. Like I said, this is everything I could get just from everywhere. So we were able to just make this whole build work somehow with everything. So we're going with the Duluck billet kit. This will keep our crank in place because we want to be able to rev this thing. We want to be able to make a lot of power. This thing's going to make a lot. Next, we already got the head machine. We got a whole bunch of ACL bearings, thrust washers, all that kind of stuff, brand new. I guess we're going to get into the HKS goodies. So we are upgrading the capacity of the engine. Let me find my cutting knife. There's two ways that you can increase capacity of an engine. Overboring, bigger, fatter pistons, and stroke, which means increasing the overall stroke of the piston going up and down, right? This kit does both. We're boring out the pistons to 87 millimeters. I think stock is 86. And We're also increasing the stroke, which means we're not going for a 3.1, we're not going for a 3.2, we're not going for a 3.3, we're going for a 3.4. This is a billet crankshaft from HKS that allows us to make it a 3.4 liter. Right here, 2J 3.4 liter. I have to say a massive thank you to HKS because I would not be able to do this at all if it wasn't for their help and support. Same with Tomei, same with Jun, all of this is just incredible. So all of this, we're gonna be slapping it all together and Jun is going to be doing all the machining work on the bottom end of the block. I'm gonna reassemble the head, that'll all be ready. It'll all come together in the next couple weeks and we'll have a fully built 3.4 liter 2JZ for this thing. Like, honestly, I still don't even know how we managed to get this to happen, but we did. I want to take the crank out of the bag and just look at it, but I also don't want to, so I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it in here. I don't want to risk dropping it. You know, I don't want to do a Linus kind of thing and drop my brand new crank. Because if it was ever gonna happen, it would be now. Anyways, I know this is a lot of talking, but I want you guys to really understand my decisions and everything that we're doing with the FD project, which kind of is what I owe you guys because so many of you guys are supporting us. And on that same note, I just want to say this is the last week. If you want to support us and put your name on the FD car and the livery, we have space on the roof for all of you guys that want to support us. It's kind of like a personal private sponsorship. A lot of drivers do this in Japan, as well as just in any motorsport. If you guys want to directly support us, I think it's a cool way that you guys can literally directly support us in Formula Drift. Go to the website, SAMMIT.net. There's a little section there. There's 3 tier options. Pick whatever you want and go from there. But that aside, let's now have a look in the other HKS box, which kind of has the rest of this kit. Like I said, the crank covers the stroke side of things, and this covers the bore side of things. Ooh. I love opening up HKS parts. All right, this is gonna be the conrod kit. If you guys remember when we did our build on our SR, the HKS conrods, everything is balanced and weight matched from the factory. I know like a lot of people kind of like, oh, you know, I like getting these kind of rods or those kinds of rods. They're a lot cheaper and all that type of stuff. But then when you take it to the machine shop, the machinist is having to individually like shave down each conrod to make sure they're all weight matched and balanced and everything like that. These come out of the box from the factory with that already done, which is why you're paying a little bit extra for these parts. Not just the brand. Look at this. Ooh, look, we got some little HKS lube. This is the lube they give you, which you use for the rod bolts, which are ARP fasteners as well, which is actually super cool. But look at these bad boy rods. Ooh. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's go. I'm so excited about this. So, rod kit, all sorted. Pack that up. Piston time. Let's get a look at these bad boys. I love HKS packaging. So we got all the rings at the top. Jun's gonna be obviously matching everything and all the gaps and everything will be done by him. I'm just gonna be assembling the entire engine, which is also a little nerve-wracking, but we got this. Here are the pistons. Dude, so good. So good. All right, we're taking this one out of the bag. Look at this. So the whole top has this special electrolysis. I can't remember the coating name of it, but it's got this special coating on there and you can tell the difference between the raw aluminum under it and the top. This extra protects against, you know, heat and stuff like that, but also the ceramic coating on the skirts here. So good. And look at that HKS logo in there. I love it. I love it. I hope the camera's focusing on that. Anyways, what I want to do right now is take this opportunity to show you guys the difference between the stock piston and the HKS piston. You should be able to see side by side just how much bigger this HKS one is. Overall circumference, it's only 1 mil extra, but it does look side by side quite larger. If we line them up, you can kind of, it's hard to see the exact difference. trying to see, yeah, you can kind of see it on this side, how much more it sticks out if I line it up on the other side. It's about overall a mil. Now's a good opportunity to also show you the difference between the stock rods. This is a stock rod that is an I-beam design, and you can tell that because by looking at the side, it's just a flat surface here. If you look at the HKS one, you can see that the front is flat. There's no indent here, like the I-beam. And if you flip it on the side, you can see it's like kind of a H, this gap here. Now there's certain pros and cons with both designs. Typically, I think from what I've learned and understood is that H-beams are normally more of like a high revving engine, but I could be mistaken. I know there's pros to cons to both. One other thing I forgot to point out is every piston is marked with its individual weight and engraved on every single one. And the box is stamped by the person that inspected it, quality controlled it, and weighed and made sure they all matched. Super cool. So there you go, guys. We're going 3.4 in the S15, which means a lot more torque, a lot more power, a lot more response, and that also means a much bigger turbo. How big, you might ask? Let me show you. This big. This is usually the size of the exhaust coming out of the back of a turbo. But this is the inlet V-band. We're gonna be going to a G40 1150. That means that it's capable of making 1,150 horsepower at the crank, which is insane. Now, we're gonna be aiming for around 950 to 960, 980. That's like our goal, our sweet spot. Even 930 I'd be fine with. Anything over 900, we're good. Means we're gonna be competitive. But that also means that we needed a new exhaust manifold. Look at this bad boy. Going to a single big V-band. This is the Big Daddy manifold for the 2JZ from Artec. I have had nothing but amazing results with these manifolds. I know you've probably heard it from everyone that's used them, and there's a reason for that, because these are just so good. The best thing about them is wastegate control. I can't preach this enough, but just get one of these manifolds. You won't regret it. Trust me. Not only are they stronger and you don't have to worry about imperfections with welds or anything like that, they look amazing. The colors that come out of them, just make sure you clean them with brake cleaner before you do your first start. You get all the fingerprints off them. It's amazing. Anyways, we're going to a big 50 mil single wastegate. We're not doing twin scroll or any of that stuff. I don't want two wastegates. I just want something super simple. If something breaks, it's one part to replace or one part to look at, not two. So we're going with a single G40. We're going to be going with a 0.85 rear housing on it. It's going to be good. I'm excited. And this is going to give us a lot more space to deal with than what our old manifold was, which is something I'm also really excited about. We sit this here next to the old setup. Now bear in mind, I never picked this manifold before. This is what came on the car. And we were going to go to a T4 Artec manifold with twin gates before and do twin scroll, but we weren't able to fit twin gates up in there. There wasn't that much space. So we're gonna be going to this setup, and you can really see right away, the gate positioning is just so much better. If you have a look here, Daiki, look at where the gate's gonna end up here. This is actually going into a place where there is space, and it's not gonna end up in my power steering rack. So this right here was so close to the power steering rack, it actually, not the power steering rack, sorry, the shaft, the steering shaft from my steering wheel, it was actually rubbing on my dump pipe quite frequently depending on how the engine would move. So this is gonna solve all of those problems. In fact, it could have actually been some of the reasons why sometimes when I would flick to angle, the steering wheel would feel quite odd, or the car would react to how I wouldn't predict it, just because that shaft was getting stuck and grinding on my wastegate dump pipe. Anyways, things you figure out later that you wish you knew before. But yeah, this is it. We're going to this big boy, the Big Daddy. We've got the turbo en route. It's gonna be a good time. I'm really excited. We're like, kind of like touching all the stuff I wish we had time to touch before, but we still don't have much time, and there's still so much to do. But yeah, this thing should spool crazy fast. It's gonna be really fun. I can't wait. Dyno's gonna be a good time. Car's gonna be a good time. We've got so many things dialed on the car now. We know what we're doing. This has been a lot of talking and show and tell. I'm not flexing whatsoever. This is literally just, this is what we're doing. And I'm excited, and it's something new, and I'm really excited to learn. And I am triple checking everything I do with this build, because there is no time for me to make a mistake. Which is why it is so encouraging that we have so many different companies, even competitor companies, working together to help me achieve this. Tomei, HKS, Jun, Yashio Factory, and I mean, there's obviously more that you'll see on the car that we'll announce later on, but this has been the only thing I have not been able to sort out until now is the engine package. Now you know why, because this. So yeah, we're going a HKS 3.4 stroker kit. We're going big boy power, Jay-Z's. I'm excited. So in the next few videos, you'll be seeing us building Daiki's 2.2 liter stroked SR20 for this car. And then obviously in a few weeks, we'll be building the engine for this, and a lot of content on both of these cars and all the changes and all the things that need to be done so that they're both ready for competition. These are competing on pretty much the same weekend, which is kind of wild to think about, but a few more changes coming to this, We got a lot of wiring to fix on that. You guys know the story. Daiki's really excited. He's also excited to go home, and so am I. If you like this kind of video and want to watch something else that's a little more technical and about engines, go check out this one right here. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.